What's going on, people? We are Tottenham TV, back here for yet another episode of Loan Watch. We've got 8 players to go through who are all out on loan this year to see and catch up with how they're doing at their respective clubs, which is really interesting. Some players doing well, some players not doing so well, and we'll get into the nitty-gritty now. And let's start off with Destiny Udogie, who obviously is at Udinese at the moment. High-flying Udinese, who are currently 3rd in the league, 1 point off top after a very impressive win at Inter Milan as well on the weekend. They're currently on a 5-game win streak, Udinese, as well, so really impressive start to the season from them. Destiny has played 6 games, scored 2 goals and 0 assists. He's having a really strong start to the season, kind of picked up, if not got better from where he left off last season. He has been recently passed up on the Italy national team as well for this international break, and the Udinese manager had some words to say on that, and he was talking to Football Italia, and he said, "These decisions surprised me. I respect Mancini's choices, but I was still surprised. I think Udogie is one of the best fullbacks in the league, and he proves it all the time." So very high praise there from the manager, and I, for one, are getting quite excited for the prospect of Udogie coming here next season.
Yeah, me too. I think he scored, didn't he, against Roma not so long ago. I think it was a 4-0 win against Jose Mourinho's Roma, and he seems to be really, really highly respected at the moment but in the Udinese fan base. From what I'm seeing, they're massive fans of him. Every game he seems to be contributing really well for the team, and to make such an impact from left back is very, very impressive. And it seems to be a case where he's not even 20 years of age yet, and he's making this sort of an impact at Serie A, and last season was his breakthrough season. He seems to have gone from strength to strength, so it's really, really encouraging, and he's still getting goals. And apparently this weekend against Inter Milan as well, he was one of the best players on the pitch, I was reading as well. So really, really impressive, and I can't wait to get him involved at Spurs.
Yeah, I'm kind of looking at I don't know how accurate they are, but the FootMob ratings of his performances every game for Udinese, and literally it's always above 7.5 every single game, which shows like he really is a standout performer there. And
anything, it shows consistency.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. And the goals did come against Roma and Monza, but he is impacting games each and every game. Surprisingly, he hasn't got an assist to his name just yet, but I'm sure those will come. But definitely good news about Destiny Udogie, and we'll be keeping more keen eyes on him as the season progresses. But let's move on and let's talk about Dane Scarlett now. 10 games, 4 goals, 1 assist in all competitions for Portsmouth. And he has been setting that league absolutely alight. The Portsmouth fans have completely fallen in love with him. There was that tweet from Portsmouth says, "Don't fall in love with a lone player. Don't fall in love." Oh, we've done it again. And yeah, they've completely fallen in love with him. There's a comment here from Portsmouth manager Danny Cowley, and he says, "Dane is fantastic young player. He has an unbelievable level of competence, and as a consequence, he has a real confidence in himself, and rightly so. I always think with young players, however talented they are, they must make sure their work ethic matches their talent. Then if they can do that, they will achieve the potential that their talent deserves. Dane has worked exceptionally hard as a consequence of where his talent is at, but the fact that he loves the game and has such a desire to want to improve on a daily basis is great to see, and it's a privilege for Nicky and I to wake up every morning and work with a player of his quality," which is very high praise from the Portsmouth manager. And you've got to remember, this guy has never played men's football before on a consistent basis, and he's come in and taken to it like a duck to water, literally.
Yeah, and what did that Portsmouth fan say last time we spoke to him a month ago? He said Dane has been literally doing everything but score, and he's been brilliant, and he hadn't scored a goal at that point, but he was still in love with him, and he thought, a lot of the Portsmouth moves were starting from him, and a lot of the pressing triggers were starting from Dane Scarlett. And he said as soon as he gets his first goal, that's all he needs to really take himself up a notch. And those finishes there we just saw were really, really impressive, especially the one where he takes one step inside and cuts into the near post, which is Harry Kane-esque, just looking for the gap in between the legs. Diving headers as well, getting in front of defenders, turn on the edge of the box and finishing into the corner. This guy seems to be an amazing finisher. He seems to be finding the corners all the time, and it's really impressive, and I'm so happy for him that we're in September. He's already got 4 goals. Hopefully he can hit double figures. I think the aim has got to be probably double figures now at this point, seeing as he's already got 4 goals now. And he's got a massive, massive future ahead of him. It looks like he's got good head on his shoulders as well, mentality-wise and work ethic-wise. And he's one where he's been talked up, for a couple years now. You got to remember Mourinho gave him his debut 2 years ago in the Europa League for a few minutes and in the Premier League. And he hasn't let it get to his head. He's kept his head down. Whenever he plays for England under 19s, he's always on the score sheet more often than not. And now he's really proving himself in League One now. So I'm really happy for him. And it looks like it's going from strength to strength. And those finishes are brilliant.
Yeah, they really were. And definitely one of them was definitely straight out the Harry Kane playbook, as you say. And also a big up to Dane Scarlett, because he just got called up to the England under-20 squad. Has been upgraded from the under-19 squad. So let's see how he gets on in this international break. But definitely is what we all want to hear regarding Dane Scarlett, how he is going on from strength to strength. And this is kind of how we want to see the loans go, because we've seen loans for Troy Parrott and some other players over the years where they haven't really hit the ground running, but Dane has really hit the ground running. So music to all of our ears, that's for sure. But let's talk about Troy Parrott now. He started life at Preston quite well, but they weren't getting on the score sheet because they just haven't scored many goals, Preston, this season. Every game seems to be 0-0 or a 1-0 loss or something like that. But we heard from a Preston fan that he had started life well there when we spoke to them just under a month ago. I think it hasn't gone as well as kind of the first impact that we saw from Troy Parrott, but I think it's more of a consequence to the team that he's actually in, because Preston have had a torrid time in front of goal, or maybe just playing attacking moves and stuff like that. He's played 12 games, he's got 1 goal and 0 assists, and his last match rating was actually 5. And what I'm hearing about Troy Parrott is that because Preston aren't really the greatest attacking side and there's not much up that end of the pitch for them, he's coming deep and trying to impact games, and it's not really working out for him. But I got a feeling like with the start of the season Preston have had, maybe it's not the right club for him right now.
Yeah, potentially. I think he needs a club who maybe creates more chances, because I was watching highlights of him at the beginning of the season, and there was one game they drew 0-0, and he had like 5 shots on target, but each time he was making it for himself. He had to like get it from deep and either shoot from outside the box or beat a man, and there's only so long you can do that for when you're a young player, especially in a hard league like the Championship. The goal he did get was in the Carabao Cup. I watched it. It was a nice finish, but it was off a rebound. A shot came back out to him, and it was a rebound into the corner. So it wasn't the best of finishes, but it seems that he needs more help, support from his teammates, creating chances at the moment. And it's not just him. But look, to be fair to Preston, where is he at? Sorry.
Parrott, Preston,
yeah, Parrott. Sorry, compared to Preston, they're playing him every game. He hasn't been dropped, I don't think, yet. I'm pretty sure he's played. I look at their lineups whenever they play, and he seems to. So they still believe that he's doing enough to start. So they haven't dropped him, but I think it's more of a team problem than a Parrott problem. It seems, because I think they scored like their first goal of the season, only not so long ago. They get so many 0-0s, and I think the manager's concentrating more on defensive solidity at the moment.
Yeah, I mean, and he's definitely getting that, because they've played 10 games this season. They've only scored 3 goals and they've only conceded 4 goals, which is I think it's the least scored from a team in the Championship and the least conceded from a team in the Championship.
So they're the Wolves of the Championship.
The Wolves of the Championship, pretty much, but they're sitting in 15th in the league, which is not great. But we'll see how it progresses. Do you think that
maybe if it starts to turn around, maybe they start creating more chances, he'll be all right for him?
Do you think that if they don't start to create more chances and it carries on like this until maybe the World Cup, until January time, that we might look to recall him and send him out somewhere else? Yeah,
I think there's a possibility. I mean, it's kind of hard to believe they're going to keep drawing 0-0 for another 3 months. But look, if they do, I think we have to consider it, because it's not great for his development to be feeding off scraps. He needs to have, he needs to be in a better team he needs to be having that confidence in front of goal, where he's getting loads of chances. And at the moment, it just seems, I don't know how many chances they're creating, but it just seems that they're kind of being very, very regimented and very kind of pragmatic in every game, and that's probably not going to help him. But then again, maybe it'll help him like physically, like find solutions and things like that, and like when you feed off scraps, sometimes you have to find something else within yourself to get the chances. And I think he was doing that at the beginning of the season, but maybe it's just become more difficult now.
Oh, well, I guess we'll just have to see how the season progresses for Preston, but hopefully Troy can go from strength to strength there. Let's move on. Let's talk about Tanguy Ndombele. 6 games, 1 goal, 0 assists, and that 1 goal did come in the Champions League last week against Rangers from the substitutes bench, which was a fairly nice goal with an assist from Anguissa. Tanguy, I mean, he's only had 2 starts for Napoli. Both those starts he gets hauled off at half-time, which is, you know, something that we've been accustomed to seeing. But there have been some positive comments from Spalletti, the manager of Napoli, saying that he is seeing signs of improvements. But like, how many times have we heard this kind of thing? But in this last game, he did score a goal off the bench. So I mean, what do you make out? Is it just much of the same?
Doesn't seem. Look, this guy, like, he should be going into Napoli and bossing things. He should be starting and looking to really insert himself. The fact that he's still struggling with fitness and he's still trying to get back to his best, and he's getting minutes here and he's getting hauled off at half time. I mean, does this guy not take care of himself? Why is he always getting taken off early all the time? I just don't understand. Like, Anguissa is starting every game for Napoli, and now he was a good player at Fulham, but he wasn't exactly a player you looked at and thought he was on Ndombele's level. Yet he starts every single game for Napoli, and he does quite well. Why can't Ndombele get to that level at the moment? It just seems that it's always going to be a constant problem with him. So I mean, you can say, yeah, he has to go to a new club, and you know, maybe he wasn't keeping up his fitness at Tottenham, but why wasn't he? This, like, I don't understand the whole Ndombele situation. It's just very peculiar to me. Like, was this a thing at Lyon before we signed him, where he just had to always get taken off and he couldn't last a certain amount of time? Like, I don't remember it being a thing, but I don't know. We'll see. We'll see if he breaks into the team and finally can realise his potential. But at the moment, it seems to be more of the same.
Yeah, what I'm hearing about Ndombele is literally the same as Spurs, where he's producing moments of magics in games, but he's not providing for the team in terms of running and off the ball stuff as much as, you know, the other players are. And ultimately, it's going to hurt the team more than it does help the team with what he does provide and what he doesn't provide. But looks like we're probably going to be getting Ndombele back at the end of the season, that's for sure.
Sounds like it. I mean, when he couldn't even retain his place back at his old club, Lyon, that really was a big red flag for me.
Yeah. All right, let's move on. Let's talk about Giovanni Lo Celso back at Villarreal, and he's really fitted in there like a glove, to be honest. 7 games, 1 goal, 0 assists, and he's just picked up, to be honest, to where he's left off last season. I mean, Villarreal not having the best of starts to the season, but he is starting every game apart from the last game where he came off the bench. But not really much to note from Lo Celso, but it's more of the same.
Yeah, they seem to play him on the wing, which is interesting, because again, I don't think that's his best position, but I keep saying it. But then again, when he was at Spurs, Conte and Mourinho a lot of the times were playing him on the wing, which I didn't think was the best position. And then now he's also under Emre playing on the wing. But when he goes away to Argentina, they play him in midfield, in the middle. And
I always thought that was his best performance, when he played deeper for us.
Yeah, agreed. So I don't understand why there's this insistence on him playing in the wing. But I'm not seeing him in training. I'm not a manager. I don't know. But it just seems very peculiar to me. Again, we're waiting till January to see if we can get a permanent offer for him, so hopefully he can up his game a bit more. But they seem happy with him. He seems to play most games, so hopefully they're the ones who are going to finally stump up the cash. But I think obviously if he has a great World Cup as well, that could help getting a permanent move. But we know at the moment it's still just a straight loan deal, isn't it?
Yeah. Was there not an option on this one?
I don't believe so.
Which is the one that had an option if he plays a certain amount of games or something like that? It becomes the obligation. Was that Ndombele? No, it can't have been.
No.
It was one of them, wasn't it?
The Lo Celso deal was structured in a way that if we got a permanent offer from someone else, we could cancel the deal. So I don't think that Lo Celso has an option to buy. Maybe it's Rodon. I don't know.
Maybe it's Rodon, yeah. Anyway, let's...
Oh, no, I think it's Wink. Isn't it Wink? Oh, no, I can't remember. You know what? I can't remember. So many loan deals to keep up with.
I know, literally. But let's move on to Joe Rodon now. Obviously, he's on a loan at Rennes at the moment. 9 games, 1 goal already to his name in Joe Rodon. Didn't start life at Rennes too well, to be honest. I saw a few people complaining about his performances around social media and stuff like that. But he has been going from strength to strength. Last couple of games, he's really been impressing for Rennes. In the last game against Marseille, he got man the match display, and he also got put in team of the week in Liga 1. So things are starting to come together for a bit for Joe Rodon now.
Yeah, I hope so. I think Rennes a good team for him because they actually know a pretty good side. They're underrated, Rennes. They usually they were in Europe last season. I think
they beat us, didn't
they? Well, they didn't beat us. We forfeited, but we drew the other game, didn't we?
They drew, yeah.
And Rodon actually, I think, played that game. But I'm happy for him. He's getting regular game time and he's showing to be a good defender because I think he has potential to be a good defender. Just whether he fitted what Conte wanted from his centre backs, that was another thing. But he seems to be doing a good job at Rennes. It probably suits him more the way they play than the way we played. And then he's going to have a World Cup to deal with as well. And that's going to be a massive for him if he plays, if he's starting every game and playing well. That's going to be big for him. So I don't know. Do I see a future him at Tottenham? Maybe. Maybe it's just a case of him. He had to grow up even a bit more because he before he came to Spurs, he was only in the Championship, and you can see now with Spence what Conte thinks of players who don't have that experience and how he's going to use them. And it seems as though Conte still, doesn't have that element of trust. But maybe if he comes back after playing a lot of Liga, maybe he will have a bit more of that trust.
Yeah, I mean, remains to be seen, but we'll see how it goes. But I think the way it's going at the moment, there's definitely an upward trajectory in his loan spell at Rennes, so that's good for him. Let's move on to Harry Winks now. 0 games played for Winksy. The
Best form of his life.
Yeah, exactly. Sampdoria manager says since he arrived from Spurs, he only had 1 training session with us and nothing else. I hope he'll be able to come back soon. I really don't know when Harry will be available.
That doesn't sound good at all.
Doesn't sound good at all for Harry Winks. Those injury problems still not going away for Winksy. Unfortunately, hasn't been able to get on the pitch once. Has hardly been able to get on the training field, never mind the pitch.
Yeah, it's not good. We know that he's got these ankle problems, don't we? So even when he does play, is that hampering him? I mean, I don't know, but it seems to be the case that there's a good case to make that it is. I hope things start to work out, but the fact that he's got an injury and that he's not got any minutes is not boding well at all, because he needs to start playing again if he's going to put his career back on the right path, because at the moment it's just wallowing into nothingness. Obviously it's not, if he's injured, it's not his fault that he's injured. It is what it is. But at the moment, the longer it goes on, if he's going to come back midway through the season and break his way into the team, and what if he struggles to get back in the team and the season ends, it's another season wasted. I don't know what that leads to.
If he struggles to get into this Sampdoria side, then I really fear for him. Sampdoria sitting like second bottom in the league or something in Serie A.
Yeah. So it's a shame, real shame where his career has gone at the moment and where it seems to be heading. But what can we do? I mean, these injuries seem to be plaguing him, and doesn't seem to be a situation where it seems to be improving.
Last but not least, Sergio Reguilon, who also has made 0 appearances for Atletico Madrid due to injury. It's not so much of a problem as it is for Winks, because it was actually assumed by the Atletico Madrid staff that he wouldn't be playing until after the international break anyway, from when they signed him. So it's kind of nothing there, to be honest.
Yeah, we heard that. I remember before he went to Atletico that he was having problems, and it might be the surgery or something. I can't remember, but they could do with a player like Reguilon, because he's a good player, I reckon. So hopefully he starts to play for them once he gets back fit, and then you make the permanent signing. But nothing to say at the moment. No appearances.
All right, well, there you have it. That is our loan watch because the international break's slow football weeks for the next week or so, and then it's the big build-up to the North London derby. Really good to check on players like Destiny Udogie, Dane Scarlett, who are doing really well and excelling in their loan moves at the moment. The rest of them, I think Troy Parrott and Joe Rodon and Giovanni Lo Celso are probably the next ones there, doing fairly well, but could be doing a bit better. And then Ndombele not doing too great, and Winks and Reguilon yet to start, next to play a game, never mind start a game. So that is how our 8 players are getting on loan. Let me know in the comment section below if you have any thoughts regarding any of these loan players. Like, subscribe and comment. And as always, come on you Spurs.